Finding balance within the busy lives we often lead can be one of our greatest challenges, but fear not because a wellness expert Dina joins me now with top tips on how you can get over this hump. Good morning, how are you?
Good morning. I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing so well. So, ironically enough, we were just talking about our busy schedules. And so, this really is something that I think culture has become so appealed and attracted to is this fast paced, grinding culture of how much busier can we be than the next person. So, we want to get rid of that a little bit. So, I'm kind of curious though to start, what do you believe is like the biggest challenge in finding that balance and kind of, finding better well being?
Yeah, one of the biggest challenges in finding balance today is this unconscious belief that rest is unproductive or that your value is based on how much you achieve. These ideas push us to keep going, keep striving, and ignore what our body and mind actually want. And it leads to us becoming more disconnected from ourselves, burnt out, and overwhelmed. Balance isn't so much about doing less, it's about believing differently. So once we shift our beliefs, we'll allow for clarity and rest.
It's funny you say that because the older I'm getting, it's crazy how like a fixed mindset really can change a lot of things. I don't want to say it can fix all your problems, but it does feel like it could help solve a few, maybe. I don't know. So, something that I find really fascinating by you about you is that you truly are an expert in this field, and you kind of preach on or teach on a lot of holistic kind of rituals. So, is there any tips that you would share with the viewer to kind of help them get started on this journey?
Sure. So, what I suggest that they do is to start slow. You don't need to jump in and do green juice and meditate for an hour and do breath work. Simply starting with asking yourself each morning, what do I need today? Helps you set the tone for the day. And also taking 5 to 10 minutes each day to sit in silence or do deep breathing. Another thing that I recommend is putting away your cell phone when you're having a meal. That allows for your body to just reset, your nervous system calms down, and also you're being present and having engaging conversation with friends and loved ones.
I think that's really important. I like that idea of putting away the phones. We see that a lot at like the dinner table with families. It's like we're gonna put our phones away, but I think that's a good thing to practice with anyone that you're with, even if it's just yourself. Maybe just give yourself the time to kind
Yeah.
of relax and live in the space that you're in. And speaking of that, self care is like an ongoing kind of trendy thing, but also an ongoing issue because we are so good at taking care of other people and tending to the things in our lives, but we're so bad at taking care of ourselves. What does it look like to maybe get started with that self care kind of practice for ourselves?
Yeah, sure. So I think one of the best ways to do that is to be kind to yourself. Every morning and every night, look in the mirror and repeat a self affirming affirmation. Something along the lines of, you're crushing today, or something so simple as, I love you, you've got this. You might feel uncomfortable doing it in the beginning, but I promise you, once you start to do this every day, you are going to feel different and you're going to love yourself even more, and people are going to treat you differently as well.
Another thing that really stands out to me about kind of like our own wellness journey and, becoming kind of desensitizing ourselves almost to kind of this crazy lives that we lead, like I said, is this idea of kind of connecting the whole body, right? Like, I think it's almost like we're like three different people within ourselves. Sometimes it feels like. So, what are some tips you would share in kind of getting that physical health and mental health kind of more combined and more connected?
Yeah, the mind and body are deeply interconnected. What we believe affects us physically, and how we care for our body influences our thoughts. So, movement, sleep, nutrition are key, but equally as important is how we think and what we tell ourselves every day. So, when we are speaking in a positive self talk to yourself and positive, uplifting thoughts throughout the day, you are going to create real inner peace.
Mm. Inner peace is important, right? I
It
think
sure
that's
is.
something that we don't talk about enough, but man, it's so good. So, if someone's out there watching and they're like, I'm just feeling so overwhelmed, I'm feeling the weight of the world on my shoulders, but I don't really know where to start, what's an actionable step that you would share that is going to just help someone kind of get on that right path?
Taking 5 to 10 minutes each day to just sit with yourself and shut your mind off really is the key to starting slow in this wellness journey. I think people are so go, 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 and they're on their cell phones all day long, but just taking 5 to 10 minutes to be by yourself, either go for a walk or listen to good music, just disconnecting will help regulate your nervous system and allow you to really go into a deeper state of well-being.
It's interesting you say the walk piece because I feel like we see that a lot in the therapy setting too. Is a lot of people are like, if you just do one kind of physical action in a day, and it doesn't have to be anything crazy, it will really boost your serotonin levels and start to get you on that right path of how you want to feel and how you should feel, which is important. That leads me to think of something else that we haven't really touched on, which is eating and eating right can really impact everything we're kind of talking about. Any specific advice you'd share as far as that goes, or anything you've seen in your research and your kind of expertise that you'd want to share?
Have everything in moderation. I'm not saying cut off your French fries and your wine because Lord knows you eat mine and drink mine, but have it in moderation, right? So if you're going to have something that's not so great for you, make sure that you're also having your fruits and vegetables in the day. Make sure that you're taking your supplements. That's also a great way to stay on top of your health. That's another way to just be mindful of what you're putting into your body.
Speaking of being mindful and taking care of yourself, sleep.
Oh,
Sleep
yes.
is, I think, one of the most like neglected things, especially, and I would say the 20 to 40 age range is like, again, we're on this like grinding mentality and we want to be doing bigger and better than the person next to us. So we're like, sleep equals time that I'm not doing anything.
True.
Any suggestions you'd share as far as that goes? Because I really think that all of us could use more tips on better sleep.
Okay, these are my two tips. Put your cell phone away in another room. Don't have it in your room. Get an alarm clock, the old fashioned one, so that you're not going to have that excuse. Oh, but my phone wakes me up in the morning. How will I wake up? Get an alarm clock. And then finally, just take 5 deep breaths in and out. And once you do that, it resets your nervous system and it allows for better sleep.
That's interesting. Do you think that there is anything to going really off the cuff here, but is there anything, or do you think that there is something to the idea of like using like essential oils or putting on like more of that Zen white noise type thing on your TV or on your phone or whatever when, in the room that you're sleeping in? Do you think there's something to that?
Yeah, so it works for certain people and it doesn't for others. I know that my mom is super sensitive to smell, so she doesn't like the essential oils and it doesn't help her. I know that, it varies from person to person, but I think you should try it and see if it helps. Lavender is a great essential oil to calm you down and get you into that Zen space. So what I suggest that you do is put 2 or 3 drops in the palm of your hand, rub them together, take a deep breath in, and do that 3 times, and then go into bed and just close your eyes. You need to make sure that your phone is not in that room. I think that is the biggest thing here because of our fast-paced world and we just want to constantly be go go go, and the fact that we have social media, it's so easy to just swipe and look and see. Your mind is just so engaged. So put that away. And also, another recommendation that I have is don't go on social media after a certain time. So give yourself all day up until 8 p.m. You can go on Instagram and TikTok and do all of that. But after 8 p.m., it's a no social media time. And you go back on it in the morning.
That's actually a great suggestion because, man, the toxicity of that and potentially going to bed and then also waking up in a negative mindset because of what you're seeing, whether it's the comparison game or something that upset you or something that you're worried about or whatever that looks like. I think that's really, really sound advice that I could probably even practice myself. So,
Yeah. Yeah. It's something that is so easily distracting you from what you need to be doing as well. I find myself sometimes going on Instagram and just I'm spent 20 minutes and I haven't achieved a thing. So you really setting a time for the day and saying, that's it, it's done. And I'm not going to sign back on until 8 a.m. tomorrow morning.
I love that. Well, if people want more information, want to keep up with you, want to get in touch with you, how do they go about doing that?
They can visit our website at 3dwellnessretreats.com. And then you can follow me on Instagram at Dina Rezvanipour.
Perfect. Well, Dina, thank you so much for your time
Thank
this morning.
you.
We want people to get on their right wellness journey and get recharged in the busy worlds that we leave. So I appreciate all the advice.
Thank you.